anti-materiel use. This is combined with a range of at least 40 kilometers. That the Biden administration is contemplating supplying the Ukrainians with Switchblade loitering munitions. According to NBC News, 2 congressional officials involved in the decision process have informed them that this is currently under discussion. Should this occur, it would provide the Ukrainian resistance engaged against Russian forces with a formidable new weapon. Switchblade is what is officially known as a loitering munition, but probably better known by the colloquial name of kamikaze or suicide drones. And that, in essence, is what it is. The weapon is a small operator-controlled UAV that is piloted to a target and then attacks it, generally by crashing into it and detonating a charge, or else with the use of a directional fragmentation warhead. And when I say small, well, it can be easily backpacked into the launch area. 2 varieties exist currently. The Switchblade 300 is a small anti-personnel weapon. This is a guided munition that measures about 2 feet in length and weighs 5.5 pounds, around 2.5 kilograms, for both the launcher and the projectile. Setup takes less than 2 minutes, but considering that it has a 10-kilometer range, that isn't too much of a concern. Speed is 63 miles per hour, with a dash speed of up to 100 miles per hour for final attack if need be. In essence, the Switchblade 300 provides the ability to place the equivalent of a grenade, with barely any warning, directly onto enemy personnel from 7 miles away. In fact, loitering munitions are in use by both sides already, and the Ukrainian-made ST-35 has apparently seen some use. What the Switchblades bring, should they be supplied, is the huge potential numbers that could come into play if the US places a large order for Ukrainian use. Considering that the Russians have suffered extremely heavy casualties from Ukrainian forces using conventional weapons and ambush tactics, the prospect of the US providing substantial numbers of these weapons would represent a significant issue to the Russian invasion force. But this could be substantially worse for them if the US supplies the Switchblade 600. This system is larger, with the missile weighing in at 33 pounds, around 15 kilograms, and total system with munition and guidance module coming in at 120 pounds of weight. But the 600 has a much larger warhead, being designed for anti-armor and anti-materiel use. This is combined with a range of at least 40 kilometers, around 25 miles, and then the ability to loiter for 20 minutes at that distance looking for targets. And that would make it an ideal counter for the majority of Russian conventional artillery. Considering that cities such as Kyiv are currently under artillery bombardment, a major cause of civilian casualties, which in turn is one of the major pressures on Western politicians to intervene militarily, supplying the Switchblade 600 could be a major step in reducing the Russian ability to bombard Ukrainian cities. With the Switchblade 600, most of the artillery in the Russian inventory firing on Ukrainian cities could be located with spotter drones or anti-artillery radar, and Switchblades deployed to neutralize them. And the Switchblade is also expressly designed with the intention of being used en masse, the proverbial drone swarm, which raises the prospect of not just single artillery pieces being destroyed, but entire batteries and all of their supporting vehicles. Plus, such an attack method would be extremely effective against any major offensives launched against Ukrainian positions. After all, it is one thing to throw scores of tanks against conventional defences, but deploying them in the face of small aerial drones that swoop down in their dozens and precisely destroy every armoured vehicle on the field? That commander's nightmares. Of course, all of this is contingent on the US supplying them in sufficient.
Marines will soon be even more deadly and safer with their new extremely lethal switchblades. When you think of a switchblade, you think of a smallish knife that fits in a pocket, right? Marines will soon have in their hands an entirely different breed of switchblades. These are smart, flying little drones loaded with devastating miniature missiles. Tiny, fast and very quiet, they are extremely difficult for adversaries to detect or track. Even if an adversary does spot the drone, it doesn't matter. Once Switchblade finds its target, the enemy cannot escape. They can run, they can hide, they can even try to evade or outspeed in vehicles. Switchblade will silently track them and strike. Armed with mini missiles, Switchblades hunt dangerous threats, like a car loaded with heavily armed terrorists attacking aid workers, and strike with astonishing precision. Their miniature missiles may be tiny, but don't let that fool you. They are staggeringly deadly and destructive. Made by AeroVironment, Switchblades have been helping to keep U.S. forces safe for several years. It was announced this week at SOFIC that Marines will